What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Random Encounter Podcast, episode 71. I'm your host, James, and I'm joined by Bryant
Go Pack Go.
and Phaneckswhy.
What up? What up? How's it going?
Oh man, it feels like we haven't done a podcast forever. I mean, it's been what, 2 weeks, right? We didn't do 2 episodes. That's it, but it feels like a lot longer than that for whatever reason. But we have quite a few things to talk about today. One of them we're going to talk about that happened actually while the week we didn't do that podcast, or rather one of the weeks that we didn't do the podcast, and a couple of other rumors like, New Year, right? New rumors start spawning. There's a lot of stuff. There's stuff that I'm not going to mention, such as Nintendo Direct, right? Everybody's trying to predict a Nintendo Direct day. I believe Nintendo Direct's going to happen in February. It's been pretty much consecutive for like the last 10 years or something like that, maybe a little bit less than that there's been a February Nintendo Direct where Nintendo will announce some new games and stuff like that. So we know that's coming. I'm not going to talk about that. Once we get closer, maybe we'll discuss what we might think is going to appear. But yeah, so right now we're not going to talk about that. But before we get into our first topic of the day, don't forget, as always, hit that like and subscribe button. Trying to hit 600 subscribers. Well, I just noticed my YouTube goal. I wrote, why does it say 356? That's kind of weird. Yeah, something's not right there because I'm pretty sure I didn't put 356 there. So, whatever. We're trying to hit 600 subscribers. We definitely don't have 356 subscribers. We're at 570 right now. So, yeah, every like and subscribe helps out a lot. Of course, share the channel. That helps out a lot as well. Don't forget to also follow us at Twitch, as well as follow Phaneckswhy on Twitch, where he does stream as well. So, before we dive into that, did you guys get anything new over the Christmas break at all? Any new games that you haven't played, rather, I would say.
Trying to think.
Yeah, I would say for me, I forgot to pick up Sonic Frontiers. It's funny because I told you, fan, about Sonic Frontiers.
Oh, no, I did pick up Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah. Because I told you about it. It's on sale. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, and the last day I was going to get it, I was going to get that, like Yakuza Like a Dragon, because that left PlayStation Plus. And what was the other game? Persona 4 Golden. I've been trying not to buy it again because I still have it on Vita, but I was like, you know what? Let me just have it so I can have it on Steam Deck. And I didn't get it, and I'm very upset because I could have had all 3 of those games. I could have been playing Sonic Frontiers, and then finish Yakuza Like a Dragon.
I got a couple stuff. Yeah, I got Sonic
Mhm.
Frontiers, Battle Bit Remaster,
Mhm.
because that was like $8.
Yeah, you told me about that too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Curse Golf was free on the Epic Game Store,
Mhm.
so I downloaded that, and then also the Guardians of the Galaxy was also free on the Epic Game Store.
Yep, that was.
So,
Yeah, I skipped out
even,
on both
even
of
though
those.
I didn't buy it, still got it.
I skipped out on both of those because of the Epic Game Store, and more than likely those would be the games that I would want to play on my Steam Deck. And of course, Steam Deck doesn't allow for not Steam Deck doesn't allow, rather, like Epic doesn't create a Linux version of their launcher. And I know technically I could use Heroic, but it's not always perfect. So I'm kind of thinking of getting the ROG Ally, but another handheld might be on the horizon, which we'll talk about a little bit later. What about you, Bryant? What did you get?
Oh man, I got so much stuff. Like I'm double and triple dipping like crazy just because of the Steam Deck. It's like I love my Steam Deck so much. It's like, oh, I really should just get that so I have it on Steam Deck. I got I'm trying to think of all the games that I got. I should have brought my Steam Deck down here. I could have looked up what I bought, but I bought all the Disgaea games on sale for really cheap. I bought like Rogue Legacy for Steam Deck. I thought that would be fun to have on Steam Deck. On PlayStation, I bought a bunch of stuff. I have like the PSN page open right now just to like refresh my memory to see what it was that I bought. But I bought a bunch of stuff because it's like I don't really buy a ton of stuff throughout the year, but like once I put a game like on my wish list, like I'll get it as soon as it's on sale. Yeah, I really can't think of like I bought so much stuff I can't even think about like what it was that I bought right now.
No, I hear that. It's funny that you mentioned like double dipping. Like I'm kind of in that mode too. Like I'm playing Triangle Strategy again because TheGeakShow, friend of the channel, he goes and he has archives, right? And I love archives. If you guys haven't watched archives, definitely give it a look. It's pretty cool. It's basically Toonami for video games, where he has 8 hours of nonstop game playthroughs. But he does like they're in 30-minute segments. So he'll like start off with like Chrono Cross, and then he'll move to like I don't know what's after Chrono Cross. I think it's Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and then he goes to like Triangle Strategy and so forth. And he has like little like commercial breaks there. So he's trying to remake that Toonami feel. Pretty cool. But every time I tend to tune in, it's always around Triangle Strategy. And he's like, you gotta play Triangle Strategy. Like if you love strategy games, you gotta play it. I played it, I fell off it because I thought it wasn't that great. But then, I just had that urge because I have the preparation music stuck in my head for like these past few weeks. I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and play it again. But playing it on my Switch, and I'm like, man, you know what? I really would have loved to just play this on my Steam Deck instead. And now I'm really looking at, double buying that and getting it on my Steam Deck so I can play on there. And I just kind of want to have everything on my Steam Deck. It's almost that same feeling I had with my Switch, where it's like I just want everything on my Switch. I don't care if I have to buy it again as long as I can play it on my Switch. I'm kind of slowly getting to that, that same feeling of like I just want everything on my Steam Deck so I can just use my Steam Deck. And it'll be easier because then if I have the Steam Deck and if I pick up a ROG Ally or some other handheld PC, I can still play those same games, which is nice. And I might just leave my Switch for like exclusives. But I'm feeling the same way.
I found a couple more that I bought. I bought the Metal Gear Solid trilogy or the Metal Gear Solid collection Volume 1 or whatever. Yeah. I bought that on Xbox, PS4, and
you bought it on
PS5. I bought and Steam. I bought it on everything because it's Metal Gear Solid. Even though I'm not the hugest Alan Wake 2 fan in the world, I bought it on Xbox and PS5 just because I want to have all the Remedy games because I'm nuts. I bought Persona 5 Tactica on Switch, Steam, and PS5.
On all three?
Yeah. Because I'm a Persona guy, like I have the I love Persona.
Instead of doing that, you should have just like gifted Tactica to all of us instead.
Yeah, that would have been a good strategy.
I've actually never played a Persona game, so.
Oh, you never played a Persona game?
Nope.
We gotta change that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely gotta try one. Like I'm semi I like 5 a lot. I'm still semi biased to 4 because 4 was actually my first. And I just love
my first as well.
Yeah, and I loved like you as the main character. Why you, right? You, and was it Izanagi? Like I just think that's a cool persona versus, I like Arsene as well. Arsene's pretty cool looking too, but I just like that dynamic, and I don't know. I just like everything about 4. I don't know. It's probably biased, like.
That's a whole nother topic to get on about 4 versus 5. But and then lastly, I guess I'll just say because I've made such a big stink about it, but I did buy Baldur's Gate 3 for PC just because the hype just kind of was infectious from everybody talking about how insanely great it is and everything in chat and everything. And I picked it up and I played it with a coworker, and it was actually a lot of fun playing it with her because like she knew everything and I could ask her questions and I would just do like ridiculously stupid things, and we would just like there's this part in the game like where you can rob a blue jay's nest and the blue jay talks to you and like he asks you like, hey, what's your opinion of like me putting this coin here? Should I move it to the left or does it look good? And I told him like it looked awful and I took it from him. It's just like so awful. It's so funny, and we just had fun like laughing and her explaining everything to me, and
okay.
I like it more than I did. I still am very overwhelmed by it, but I'm gonna keep playing it and see how it goes.
Yeah, that seems like a game for me that'll be too overwhelming.
It's very overwhelming.
Yeah, it's like too many things to do. Like I don't have time for that, unfortunately. Yeah, but let's go ahead and dive in with our first topic. And our first topic is actually going to be something that happened, a few weeks back. Insomniac, they got hacked, which sucks overall. And I'm not really going to talk about the hack because I think everybody's past it. But the one thing that stood out from the hack is some of the stuff that, information was coming out, which when these hacks happen, you get information about like earnings and so forth. One thing that stuck out was how much Sony games, like how much they're investing in games. And I believe the price point, I forgot to pull up the actual price point that they spent, but it was a ridiculous amount. And I believe they said that they did not break even yet. And I want to say Spider-Man 2 took like $300 million. Does that sound about right, Bryant? Like, yeah, because it was a lot of money. And I think in comparison, they did a comparison for Tears of the Kingdom. And I think Tears of the Kingdom was like $50 million. It was like, almost a quarter of that, which is crazy. And Tears of the Kingdom is still a great game. But to me, it's kind of showing where the industry is shifting, and I feel like it's a bad shift, in my opinion. Mainly because that's a lot of money to invest in, hence why we have these $70 games now. But they're not breaking even because you gotta have a lot of people buy the game for you to break even, which is part of the reason I believe Sony is going ahead and putting their games on PC now because they need that extra money for sure. But I just feel like that's a lot of money for a game. Comparing it to Tears of the Kingdom, they did only 50 million, and that could be, give or take. It's somewhere around there. I know it's very, very low. It's definitely not 100 million. I want to say it's 50-ish million, maybe even less than that. But they did that whole game with $50 million. Paid all the people and so forth. Like I don't know. I just feel like it's pretty. What are your thoughts? Because I don't think that's a good sign. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
$100 million is crazy.
Yeah.
Basically, you have to sell 1.5 million copies to break even.
Yeah, that's
at $70. At $70. But I mean, that's not including like if you sell collector's editions for like $100 or something.
yeah.
But just the base of like $70, you have to. Yeah, it's like almost 1.5 million copies.
Yeah.
Just to break even. That's crazy. So if a game flops, it's like you're in the red.
Yeah. And that's probably why we see a lot of companies that a game just doesn't do good and they're like, yeah, we're closing down. We can't do anything. Because it's a lot of money that they're investing in these games. What about you, Bryant?
It's high risk, high reward. I mean, I don't think that the $70 price point has anything to do with how much game development costs because I mean, adjusted for inflation, we were paying $70 for
Back in
SNES
the
games
90s,
in
yeah.
the 90s, and with inflation, like that's so much more money. Like the games are cheaper than ever, even at $70 in 2023, just because of inflation alone. Um, I think that with Spider-Man, there's a lot more to do there just because of the fact that it's on a console that can output the visual fidelity that requires that many more resources to make it that like much of an investment for the developer and for Sony and for the player. With Tears of the Kingdom, obviously the hardware isn't as advanced as a PS5, so the resources can go into other things that kind of make the game more fleshed out. Like it's kind of like it's like that saying where it's like it's more deep but not as wide, and like maybe Spider-Man you could say the same thing where it's like it's more wide but not as deep. Like you go throughout New York, but I mean Hyrule is gigantic. You can go below the ground in the sky. It's huge, right? And also with Spider-Man, you have the license as well. You have to pay voice actors for everything. You have to do all the motion capture for everything. And maybe Tears of the Kingdom has like a little bit of that, like but very minuscule compared to a production like Spider-Man that has Marvel and Disney and I think Disney would be a part of it behind it. So I just think they're very different things. That I agree with you though. I think that the gameplay is kind of taking a back seat to this production to make it so it sells as many copies as possible, but it's a really high risk, high reward where if it doesn't sell astronomical, you're gonna have a loss. And if it's a loss, then it could be a studio closing.
Yeah. Yeah. I get where you're getting with that. It is true. Yet, like you said, the PS5 is a lot more powerful. So definitely you can, pack it with a lot more attention to detail. I assume they probably sent out teams to New York. They had to go ahead, pay for a hotel, food, and stuff like that while they're probably either filming the streets of New York or doing something to kind of make sure that they're not, I wouldn't say one to one because there are going to be some differences for sure, but they're as accurate as possible for New York to feel like New York there, at least for people
Like,
who are familiar with New York. Yeah, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, like, are they sending people physically to do that, or are they already like utilizing like technology that's already available, like
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft Bing, Google Maps, Apple
Yeah.
Maps, companies that already go out there and scan those buildings and stuff like that.
I would assume they're sending people out there because I know I've heard like other like dev diaries of like other like games where they'll go to a certain place and they'll go ahead and take a look at they'll go to just a different country, whatever the case might be. Like I think Ubisoft was one of them where they were trying to get a feel and look, so they'll send a team out there to kind of look through it, see how it feels, do some recording, then take it back, and then they'll start working from there. So I assume so, but I could be wrong. Maybe Insomnia didn't do any of that. They could have been like, hey, Google Maps shows New York is like this, so let's do that. But I feel like it would be hard to recreate that if you just go based off of Google Maps, but maybe, who knows?
I mean, because you have like most of the buildings, already scanned in Google Maps. All you have to do is just add the high-end textures.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. But going back to that, like, I don't know. I feel people hated on Nintendo not moving forward to like as quick as like Xbox and PlayStation, but I honestly think that Nintendo might have been smart in what they're doing because we've seen that they've been able to pump out way more games than Sony and Microsoft have been able to within a year lifespan. There was this picture going around on Twitter showing that Nintendo had a whole list. I want to say maybe 13 games or something like that. They almost had a game a month. In some games, they had 2 games the month. But of their first party studios, they had about 13 games that came out, and it was kind of crazy that they had that many games, or at least exclusive games geared towards them. Where PlayStation and Xbox, they had, I think PlayStation had like 3, and Xbox had 3 as well. It's kind of big of a difference. And the games that Nintendo pulled out, yeah, they're not to the size of a Spider-Man. Well, I guess you could say Tears of the Kingdom is, but they're still very good games nonetheless. They're pretty high quality games, all of them rated very high, very fun games, and it's on a console that's, just 720p handheld, barely 1080p because most games don't even run 1080p in dock mode anymore. But it still did very well, and Nintendo's able to produce that. And I feel like their next console is going to be a step up, but it's not going to be PlayStation level. There's already rumors saying that it's barely going to be PS4 Pro level, which we'll have to wait and see. But I think
even
they're
if
smart
this
by keeping
PS4
that.
Pro level on a handheld is crazy.
That is true. But I mean, I think that's actually the right move because they can invest those resources on making what we want the most, and it's good quality games. A lot of them if we can, and I'm kind of excited to see. And I think Nintendo was smart by doing that. So
sorry, I'm just thinking of some of the wacky things that they do that are innovative, but then no one ever takes advantage of it. Like HD Rumble, freaking IR blaster on it.
The IR blaster, definitely. I think the HD Rumble is really cool. I think it is a really nice haptic feedback, but the IR thing, absolutely.
It's just not a lot of people use it,
You can play rock, paper, scissors with it. It's okay.
Yeah.
There was like this spy something like application that you can use as a camera. So like your Switch will show you like the infrared camera, and then like you can put it like I remember seeing like a trailer that they put it like on a car, and then you could like a remote like RC car, and then you can move it around and you can kind of see on your Switch what's around. And it's really bad quality too. But yeah, it is true. Nintendo does tend to do things like that, which is cool, I guess. HD Rumble. If they didn't do HD Rumble, Sony wouldn't have done what they did with the haptic feedbacks.
Yeah.
I
know.
100%.
I think it's just funny. It's just like they concentrate on gameplay. They add all these cool.
Oh, we lost Fan. Or did you guys lose me? No, you're
still here. Okay. For me.
Oh man, Nintendo's attacking Fan. We'll have to wait for him to come back. Hopefully, he's not assassinated by the Nintendo ninjas. David, redeem me the 100 with hydrate. I just finished my water. I gotta get another water because I'm actually super
I just
thirsty.
finished my soda too, so I can't hydrate. I'll swallow some of my spit. There we go.
They was like, Nintendo's watching. Yep, they went after Fan. They're like, yeah, you can't say anything about us.
Fan's picture is great too. His Frozen picture
I know.
is great.
Oh man. But yeah, like I feel like Nintendo was smart in what they did there. Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. Our next topic, I gotta pull up the notes because I don't even remember what I wrote for the next topic. Oh yeah, I added this at the last minute because PS5 Pro rumors are starting to emerge again, and it's one of those things that I don't know. For me, I don't feel that it's real, but I think Tom Henderson himself had said it is real that Sony is working on the PS5 Pro, and I don't know, like. I just don't think we need a PS5 Pro. I feel the PS5 is not being fully utilized. I feel that the game that's going to fully utilize the PS5 Pro is actually Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But we'll wait and see, because I don't think any other game, including God of War Ragnarok, has fully utilized the PS5 Pro's power and potential. What do you think, Brian?
God of War Ragnarok, certainly not, because it was on PS4, as was Horizon Forbidden West. So those games were definitely hampered by having to be on PS4. It wasn't exclusive, so it had to be kind of a version that could be on both consoles.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do think that the PS5 Pro is real. I mean, if they release it, I'll be the first in line to get it, because PlayStation's my favorite ecosystem. I remember that when they announced the PS4 Pro, I kind of had the same reaction. I mean, I guess it really just depends on how much more the power really is. I'd be really psyched if they did like a update with how the console looks, because I'm not like the hugest fan in the world of how the PS5 looks, like from an aesthetic level. I think it's gonna sell like crazy because the PS4 Pro sold like crazy. I remember when it came out, there was maybe a little bit of hype around it, but I really think it was one of those things that came with word of mouth and them slowly but surely just kind of making games enhanced for it, and people want the best experience that they can get, so that's what they did.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, I was one of those that said I wasn't gonna get the PS4 Pro, and then I did. I did end up getting it right away, because I was like, you know what, this might be. I want to say, I don't remember exactly why. There might have been a game coming out, and I was like, you know what, I want to play it at its best. Did Final Fantasy 15 come out around the same time as PS4 Pro? Or was that before? Do you remember?
I'm gonna check that. I want to say I don't even know. Let's see, because Final Fantasy 15 came out in September, or excuse me, it was in September of 2016. I want to say.
Okay.
Let's see, PS4 Pro release date. That was November 10th, 2016. So it was a little bit after Final Fantasy 15 came out.
So it might have been because of that, because I was playing Final Fantasy 15. Let me see. Oh, fan said he's going to be a few minutes. Power is coming back. Oh, okay. So he looks like he lost power. So yeah, it was Final Fantasy 15 then, because I was like, you know what, I want it to look the best, so I went and bought it for that. And I want to say there's probably was another game that I can't really think about right now, because that's a long time ago.
Actually, I take it back. 15 came out November 29th, 2016. The PS4 Pro came out November 10th, 2016. So the PS4 Pro
was first.
Predated. Yeah, it did.
Okay, so I was right. So then it was 15. Yeah. Okay, because I remember I was like, that's coming up, and I want to play it the best, because that's all I remember. I was like, I know there was a game that I want to play the best, and 15 seemed like the one. So yeah, so I bought it for that. This though, I would think there would have to be a game that I really feel that would be a game changer with a PS5 Pro for me to get. Because
Lethal Company 2.
Lethal Company 2. I mean, that could run like on a potato, basically. That's not too intensive. But according to what they have here, like they are shrinking the die to a 4 nanometer apparently, right? This is all rumors. 8 core 16 thread Zen 2 processor, right? AMD. It's going to be RDNA 3 graphics instead. And the CPU is going to be up to 4.4 gigahertz versus the 3.5 gigahertz that the current PS5 has. AMD RDNA 3 GPU, which should be better overall. And then GPU is looking like it's going to be double in power compared to what the PS5 has. Of course, we don't have a clock or power, so we don't know exactly how much powerful it is. It looks like a 60, I want to say CUDA core count. That's what it looks like. No, CU. I forgot what CU is. CUDA units, I think it is. And I have no clue what WGP is. I can't think of what WGP. But it says 30 WGP. In comparison, the PS5 has 18 WGP and 36 CUs. And then memory is going to be 16 gigs, 256 bus, and then memory speed is going to be 18 gigabits per second. So it's going to be faster memory overall. And then it's rumored, of course, for 2024. I mean, it seems like a pretty decent jump, but going back to that, I just don't think that anything else is utilizing the power of the PS5 right now. And I feel that if a PS5 Pro comes out, I wonder how many people will get it. Like, I guess if you want a higher frame rate, maybe it makes sense. You want to play every game at 120 FPS, maybe at 4K, then yeah, it would work. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see because it's still a rumor, Bill. I don't think I'm gonna get one right now, but
I think the thing that really I wouldn't say it annoys me, but it just kind of always gets lost in the ether when these discussions come out, is that people that have PS5s already, like me and you, people are like, well, I don't want to pay $600 to get a PS5 Pro or whatever. But it's like, for people like you and I who have them already, I would sell mine on either eBay or through some other means and probably get at least 3 for it, because mine's in perfect condition, between 3 and 4 probably, give or take. And that's okay, so it's $150-$200 for PS5 Pro. I'll pay that all day for that, for as much as I use it. And people, I just kind of feel forget that if you have one already, you have equity, you can sell that and put it towards it, and you're in good shape,
I did when the Switch OLED came out. Bought it and then sold my old Switch, and since the OG Switch is hackable, you can sell that for the same price you bought it at. So I sold mine for $300 without the dock. I kept the dock, and I want to say I kept the Joy-Cons. It was just the Switch itself, and I sold it for $300. So I got more money back technically because I kept the dock and the Joy-Cons, and and then of course I have an OLED now, which hey, welcome back, fan.
Power in the whole neighborhood went out.
We thought it was Nintendo Ninjas that got you, because it's just right as you're talking about Nintendo, you just froze oh man, Nintendo's out. We're talking about the PS5 Pro, all the rumors that are coming out for the PS5 Pro. What do you think about that? Would you pick up a PS5 Pro if it exists and if it does come out?
No.
Why not? I
didn't pick up a PS4 Pro.
Okay. You didn't feel a need to have it?
Yeah, I mean the increase in performance was incremental, where it didn't make sense for me to spend another $500-$600 on a new console again.
I gotcha. It's funny you mentioned that, because
me and Brian, that's what I was just saying.
I was saying, me and Brian were just talking about you could sell your current PS5 and use that towards the new PS5 Pro, or maybe GameStop sometimes does some pretty crazy trade-in deals too.
That's what I did with my Switch OLED. Is that when I traded in my Switch, I paid $50 or $75 for an OLED, something like that. I'm absolutely, no question, I'll do that all day.
Yeah, that would be, if GameStop had a good deal, I would probably get it day one. It would be, I don't know. To me, as of right now, it's just, I don't know, because I don't use my PS5 a lot. I use it for streaming. They took out Like a Dragon, so I'm kind of very upset that Like a Dragon is no longer on PS5 Plus, PS Plus. So my PS5 has just been sitting here, not touched. I used it for remote play the other day, and I was just I went to start up a game. I was Like a Dragon's not here no more, and I just shut it back down, because that's all that's been on my mind. So
have you played Like a Dragon? How much have you gotten into it?
So I always get around, I get I get to the part, I get the first 3 characters together. You get
the bum guy.
Yeah, and then the ex-cop guy.
Okay.
That has that. So I always get to that part, and then it leaves. It left Game Pass at the same part. And then I got it, I was playing it on PlayStation Plus. Got to the same part, it left PlayStation Plus. So that's how far I get into, which I want to say is not even halfway. It's definitely a quarter of the way. For sure, because there's only your first 2 extra party members that you get, because there's also the girl that you get later on, which I assume I was getting close to them, because I already got them all. I was in the place where, I'm trying to think, what is it, I'm trying to remember exactly where I was at. Dang, I can't.
Yeah, it's the only Yakuza game I've played, and it's the only one that I've beaten. So I loved it. I really want to play the rest of them now, because I love Like a Dragon. It was such a good game.
Yeah, I mean, my only fear for that is for people who come in Like a Dragon, right? In Yakuza.
I know it's like a beat 'em up.
Exactly, you go back to a beat 'em up, and I feel like if you like Shenmue, you're gonna like this, because it's literally Shenmue's type of combat, just more modern. So it feels at home. Playing the whole game, it feels like Shenmue. Even the dodge mechanics, because if you ever play Shenmue, he has this little sliding thing to dodge. You do the same exact thing when you go to dodge. You do this real slide back, so that they can miss your attack. So But I really liked them. I started off with Yakuza Kiwami. I got that free from PlayStation Plus and fell in love with it. Then went to Yakuza 0 because I want to know the prequel, and 0 doesn't really progress the story, so it's one of those games you can actually skip altogether and you won't really feel the difference in the story. Like after playing 0, I don't feel like it helped me out with anything with 1 and, Kiwami 2. Like I don't feel like I learned much more from there. So
it might just give you some texture, just a little bit, maybe.
It gives you a better background of who Kiryu is, right, and who Majima is, especially Majima. Like it goes into a deeper look in Majima, because Majima is, and you haven't played Yakuza 1, so you probably don't even know who Majima is. Oh no, he's in like a dragon for like a boss fight. He's like a secret boss.
Yeah.
But Majima is like everybody's favorite character because he's funny. He's hilarious. He's like Kiryu's rival, but he's a cool, likable like rival character. He's not bad, but he's also not good. But in Yakuza 0, there's a lot of context in behind how Majima is, because he wasn't always how he acts in the games now. He was a totally different character, and it kind of shows his evolution into the character he is now, which that part is kind of cool. But as far as Kiryu goes, he's still the same guy. Like he's just that main character that's like, all right, I gotta do this because I gotta do it. So, what's up, Ash? Welcome in.
What's up, man?
Yeah, we were just talking about PS5 Pro rumors, and we got sidetracked. We're talking about Yakuza because
that's an okay sidetrack if you ask me. That's perfectly acceptable.
To me, that's normal. So
yeah, you just picked up Like a Dragon recently, didn't you?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna be playing that for a good while because like the only Yakuza game I played was actually 0, which I enjoyed very fondly. It's an extremely fun game. Like it was one of the best games I ever played since the pandemic, because I picked it up during 2020. It was on sale on PS5 for just $10, and that was like one of the best $10 I ever spent in my life.
Yeah.
And you were right. You're right. Kiryu is kind of like the same in 0 compared to the other games and stuff, but like gradually over time he does grow as a character and stuff. And it's kind of funny too that like we see this ongoing rivalry between Majima and Kiryu. Throughout the rest of the game, but in 0 they literally don't even see each other until at the very, very end. It's only just a small normal encounter that you will see in the other games, which is funny to me. But yeah, it's I still tell people to play Yakuza 0 because it's still a really good game and stuff. You don't have to play it just so you can get context. Just play it just because the game is good. Because to me, it's still amazing. Matter of fact, I follow one of the Twitter accounts that would like literally every Friday they post a Friday night dancing video from Yakuza 0 and stuff, and I feel like that's one of the best things I ever got from the game, because it's something I wouldn't expect from a game like this, but you are getting it, and on top of that, you get to do those little go-kart races with other characters, and on top of that, you get the freaking Sega arcade and everything. It's just it was things you didn't expect, but they're in there and they execute them like almost perfectly and stuff. So there's so many things that you can enjoy about the game. It's just endless, right? And right now, the reason why I even like touch Kiwami 1 and 2 yet is because I'm just trying to savor all the fun memories I had with 0, and try to have those the same fun memories again once I play the other games too. So
one is really good. When you play, you're gonna be like, wow, like this, especially with the ending, it's pretty hyped. And 2 is also really good. I feel like I like 1 a little bit better. 2's overall better, like graphically looks way better. Because it uses the Yakuza 6 engine, so it's like way more improved. But like and gameplay overall is better, but like 1 story I still feel like it's a little bit better. But one thing I was going to mention too is like how you mentioned like the mini games. That's something that's pretty cool, because like a Dragon has the like that Pokemon mini game. Do you remember what they're called, Bryant? There's something Mon, and they're bringing it back in Infinite Well because it was very popular. It's like these like random people, like the first time you meet one, it's like a dude like in his underwear who's like dancing, And you're like, he's like, what the heck is that? Like,
is he wearing the trash thing too or something like that? Because before the game even came out, I was looking up like trailers and gameplays and stuff to see how it would look, because that was the first time they ever converted themselves into like turn based, which I'm like, interesting. And when I actually look at it, they're doing like a random encounter against this guy who was wearing a trash bag. And you just see legs and stuff. I'm just like, the hell is this? Is this like ongoing joke I've never seen before, or some crap like that? So I'm like, I don't know.
They're called something. I don't remember what they're called. Oh man, what is it called? They're called something Mon. And they're basically like Pokemon, and you have to like, he gives you a Pokedex, and he's like, you need to encounter all of these and fill up the Pokedex. But I don't remember what they're called. But I remember when I ran into that guy, I was like, it was hilarious, because the way what's his name? What's the main character? His name? Why did I forget his name?
Ichiban?
Yes, Ichiban. Oh man, I made a video too, and I forgot his name in the middle of the video. I had to like stop recording and look up his name again. But yeah, Ichiban, because he shows up, he's like, "What the heck is this guy?" And like he's all freaked out about it. And you know, that was just my thoughts exactly. I was like, "What is this guy? He just popped out of nowhere." And then you gotta fight him, and then you get that. Yeah, well, yeah, there's a lot of cool mini games there, and just like the little nods they have to different games, like a Dragon, of course, nodding a lot to Dragon Quest, because a lot of it's Dragon Quest. Was it something island that's in Infinite Wealth? I guarantee you, it is more inspired by Dragon Quest Builders than it is Animal Crossing, because they're continuing that Dragon Quest like inspiration, because everything, like from the UI to everything, looks a lot like Dragon Quest Builders. You know, Dragon Quest Builders, you can fight while also building, which is what this is doing. Animal Crossing, you can't fight at all, and you don't even build in Animal Crossing. So yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of like, you know, throwbacks there. Judgment, which is also made by the same team, is also pretty cool, because they have a lot of what is it called? They have like throwbacks. Like they have the objection throwback to Ace Attorney when you do the lawyer parts, where, you know, he goes in, he's like, objection, and it does like the whole animation and everything, which is pretty cool. Something that I think Ash will like, since he's the big Ace Attorney fan here.
That'd be nice, but yeah, this is gonna be a while until like I even reach that game, to be for honest, because I want to play everything chronicle order. Despite the fact I might even like some of like the middle games less than the others, I guess. I still want to play everything in chronicle order. So, and I don't think it will take that long. I mean, I think the average playthrough of a Yakuza game is like 30 to 40 hours, so it shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, so. I couldn't do 3, 4, and 5. They're just too outdated for me.
In graphically.
In gameplay wise too, because they're just the PS2 versions, just on
we'll see. The thing is, I adapt to a lot of different play styles. I noticed with me, so graphically it wouldn't even bother me at all.
Graphics
mechanically it might be different. I may, if it's something that will bother me a little bit, I'll probably just look up a guide or something like that to be more used to it or something like that. So it all depends.
Yeah.
So I already bought 3, 4, and 5. I think both on PSN and on PC.
Yeah.
On PSN, I bought on PSN because I never thought that they were gonna port it on PC until they port it on PC, and I'm like, okay. So and I found it on sale, and yeah, spent like only $10 for the entire collection of that too. So, but yeah.
Nice. All right, and that is the PS5 Pro. Rumor has it November 2024, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure we'll probably hear more about it throughout the rest of the year. Moving on to our next topic, you know, on the topic of PC gaming that we've been talking about, a new PC gaming handheld is going to be introduced more than likely next week not more than likely, but is going to be introduced in CES next week. And it's already been leaked, and that is the MSI Claw. It's basically the MSI version of the ROG Ally. And when I mean the MSI version of the ROG Ally, I mean like the MSI version of the ROG Ally, because it looks exactly like the ROG Ally in Ally, in every way, shape, or form, except that it's black. And you know, the more I stare at the picture, the more I realize, like, wow, like it literally is the ROG Ally. I'm wondering, how can they get away with just using that body?
I saw the D-pad's like the same.
Yeah, the D-pad looks the same. I'm looking at it, and I don't know, because it looks more like the Xbox Series X, where it might have a clicky feel. But I don't know. It could be like the ROG Ally, where it's a little bit more loose, which I hate the loose feel. I'm not a big fan of the loose feel there. But everything else is the same. Like the buttons are in the same spot. I guess the face buttons are blue instead of what were they, black with like the coloring
on
in
the
the
Ally.
letters.
They're like purplish, like red. Like they're like kind of like not fluorescent, but like neon colors, like kind of like purple and red. I think if I remember correctly, they're kind of weird colors.
They're just black, but the letters have color in them.
Oh,
so no, the whole button's color. No, the whole button's color.
The whole button is.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought they were just all black, and then the letters were just colors. Okay, never mind.
No, the color of the letters is the same color of the buttons, except the letter has It really looks like the whole button is colored and then it's white. The letters are white, but the coating around the button is what makes it all kind of looks the same color.
On the Ally?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it looks like. It almost kind of looks like the button is, let's say it's like a red button, like a maroon button, but they had like a resin kind of like top to it.
Okay.
Right? That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like it's like the buttons in resin.
Yeah, this year they're all blue. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like they shouldn't have copied that design because there was already the design flaw of the micro SD card overheating, unless they somehow fixed it. But there's a couple differences that this is going to have, and it's really on the inside. And the biggest difference is going to be, instead of using an AMD APU, it is going to use an Intel APU. It is using the Intel, where's it at? The Core Ultra 7 155H. It says it's a 28 watt processor with max turbo of 115 watt, which is pretty big. Like, it's a pretty huge like jump there.
Goodbye battery life.
Yeah, exactly. Early test indicates that the Arc XE LPG graphics demonstrate a competitive edge against the AMD integrated RDNA 3, as featured in the Ryzen 7040 and 8040 series. So it's already a little bit more powerful. I think somebody was telling me that it's almost double the performance there, but I don't. I would have to actually put them side by side and actually see exactly where it's at. It's gonna have 32 gigs of RAM versus 16, which is a lot more, which will help out because APUs, they use your RAM as also video memory. So the more RAM you have, the more video memory you have. So technically speaking, you should have better performance overall. But like when you actually look at it, it has MSI branding everywhere. It looks like there might be a little bit more vents on the back because there's an MSI logo, and then there's a lot of vents there, and the MSI logo itself is vented too. And this is like True Gaming on the top. What else? Yeah. What do you guys think about this? Like, for me, the turn off is that it's a Intel APU, and Intel APUs have never really been that great. So yeah, what are you guys' thoughts?
Is that micro SD on the top again? Have you seen that?
No, from the screenshots they have here, it doesn't show that it's on the top.
Okay.
Yeah, because it shows vents. It looks like it shows like a Thunderbolt port on the top. It doesn't have the ROG Ally, what do you call it, for like the external GPU. It doesn't have that port there. It looks like there's something else there instead. But I don't see a micro SD card.
It could be Oculink. Because an Oculink looks similar to like a display port, it looks like a display port, but just like weirdly thinner.
Yeah, it shows. So there's a Thunderbolt port in there. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, it could be what's on the other side. I don't know what the other port is because it's kind of hard to see because it's cut off on the images that I see here. But yeah,
well,
go ahead.
To answer your question, I think it's awesome that these things are coming out. I really think that they kind of put a dent in a big way in the gaming laptop space because people want to buy. I mean, granted, it's not going to be as powerful or have, generally speaking, probably have as long as a battery life as like a full blown laptop because the battery can't be as big as a laptop's. But for what most people would want a gaming laptop for, just like portable gaming, like that they can access their Steam and Epic and EA libraries with. Like usually these handheld PCs fit the bill nicely. And so I'm a fan of these things coming out because with competition increase, comes innovation. And then you have people like Valve for their next iteration of Steam Deck just being something that even blows the Steam Deck OLED out of the water. And then maybe Asus finds a new way of putting a micro SD card on something that doesn't fry the micro SDs, and then maybe Lenovo does the new Legion that doesn't have the clicky buttons on it, where if you look at it, it clicks. And the more competition, the better. And then these things are going to keep coming out and getting better, and maybe price points come down, maybe the performance goes up, and I love these things. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with you on every front, because like PC gaming, it's always been like not even a secondary. It's always like last thought. Like the only very few times have I really dived in and used my PC a lot. Final Fantasy XIV was one of them, where like I mainly played on PC, and then Monster Hunter World, I picked it up on PC and I played it a lot there. But other than those two, like I rarely like my Steam library before I got the Steam Deck was just some Sonic games I bought on Humble Bundle. That was it. Like nothing, and Monster Hunter World, of course. But other than that, like I had no, and Dragon's Dogma as well. But like other than that, I had no other games because I didn't use my PC as much. I've always had a gaming PC. I just rarely used it, and now I use it a lot. Because for the channel, right? I have to do the streaming and all that stuff. But because of the Steam Deck, now I can buy more games, and I don't feel like I'm stuck on just my PC. I can play it in handheld mode now if I wanted to. I could, if I get a ROG Ally or some other device, right, I can play it on there too. I'm not stuck in just one device. I have a broader ecosystem now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I agree. Like the more competition that comes out, hopefully the better these things will come, and pricing might even get a little bit cheaper too, which would be, a huge plus. What do you guys think, Ash? What do you think, Ash? Actually, because you don't have any of the handheld PCs. I know you were thinking of getting a Steam Deck OLED, but does this kind of make you think otherwise to get something else or no?
Not really. For me, when I get the Steam Deck OLED, I know for a fact that it's not gonna obviously not gonna run the same way as like my PC does when it comes to all these games. So there's a certain expectation that I do have for the Steam Deck OLED where it's not be able to run certain games and stuff. Now looking at the MSI Claw here, apparently the specs got leaked. Did you already talked about that? All right, already or
yeah, the specs. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only thing I didn't get to mention is it's gonna have 16 cores instead of.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like
cores.
This thing has 16 cores, which is nuts. I'm like, Jesus Christ! This thing literally has more cores than my freaking computer. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then maximum frequency is almost 5 gigahertz, which that's also nuts. I'm like, wow. And then the memory is up to 32. Hopefully this is not the only model that they're releasing. Hopefully they have lower tier models. But apparently the elite price for this thing is like $1,000, which I'm like, justifiable for the specs of this thing is boasted right now. That's justifiable. The only thing I don't see on here is like the type of screen it has, right?
Yeah.
So like this thing has an OLED. It could be a sold for me, but unfortunately, if it doesn't have an OLED screen, I'm still going to be sticking with a Steam OLED for my future purchase.
They haven't said if it's an LCD or an OLED yet. It's just like the specs of like the architecture.
Yeah, ever since I got this LG C1 TV and stuff,
Never going back.
The OLED kind of just changed my perspective on a lot of like certain screens. I mean, despite the fact that both of my monitors are still LCD, I'm planning on getting like an OLED ultra wide screen later on this year, and along with that, yeah, I love OLED a lot, and like. The thing is, I can still go back to LCDs if I want to. It's just like if I have a chance to stick with an OLED but still have like a similar experience, I'd rather just stick with the OLED. On top of that, the Steam Deck OLED is still still going to be cheaper than the MSI Claw anyway, right? Despite the fact that it's going to have lower specs, like I said, I already had expectations already set that this thing is not going to be. It's made to be a portable handheld. It's not going to be like a powerhouse compared to like the other stuff I have. So that's already expectation that I already set for it to begin with. After all the research I did for it. Somebody sent me an invite on Epic Games. I am not joining, but but yeah, we'll see if this when this thing comes out and they say we got OLED on this thing, or they have a higher tier where they have an OLED screen. I might consider. Right now, I'm already 100% sold on the Steam Deck, because at first when it came out, I was like, damn, I wish this thing had an OLED screen. And then later on when they did the refresh, I'm like, damn, this is literally their almost perfect system, because I can literally do everything I want on this thing. So, yeah. So, yeah.
I agree with you. OLED makes a difference. Playing triangle strategy, right? You'll get or not even triangle strategy. I was playing Pokemon Violet yesterday for a little bit, and one of the loading screens is just all black, and you have like little something happening on the bottom right corner to like kind of show it's loading. But like what impresses me is just like, because I was playing in the dark and it was night, it's just completely black. Like literally the screen is just turned off except for that small little section. And that's the beauty of OLED, because not only that, you get of course better contrast and so forth, which is one reason why I do want to get a Steam Deck OLED. But I mean, fan kind of has kind of like convinced me to try to get a ROG Ally, and I'm really considering the MSI Claw, because I like MSI. I've told you guys before that I have good luck with MSI stuff. Every time I've tried Asus stuff, they just always something goes wrong, and I don't know. Like, I'm kind of torn here, but I might stick with either the ROG Ally or just go with the Steam Deck OLED.
The reason why I never could consider the ROG Ally is two reasons. One, it doesn't have OLED. Sorry. Two, despite
it's
the fact
a really good LCD though. The
yeah,
screen on it is solid.
Despite the fact that this thing is way more powerful than the Steam Deck, like with no doubt about it, I don't think like the difference in like screen quality will do it for me as much, because when you're looking at the pixel density for the resolution, it's still going to look the same regardless whether you play at 720p or 1080p. It really doesn't matter because of how small the screen was.
Yeah.
Now, if I were to hook this thing up to like my freaking LG C1, and maybe I put the resolution to like 1080p, that's when you're going to see the degrading returns between the Steam Deck OLED and the ROG Ally. Obviously, the ROG Ally is going to do way better than the Steam Deck OLED because of its specs and stuff. But I'm not going to be mainly using the thing for that. I want to play it mainly as just portable, and that's about it. Stuff, right? And on top of that too, it already does really well for the Steam Deck being docked as well, because I remember this video I watched where this guy literally went out in the woods, camping out of the woods by himself, just so he can prove to you that the fact that you can actually play the Steam Deck OLED docked on a random monitor that you bought, and like was playing Resident Evil 4 like literally all night in the woods. I'm just like, dang, okay, full immersion, I guess. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, the ROG Ally is cool. It's more powerful, has RGB greatness, I guess. But the Steam Deck already gives you enough of that to be the Steam Deck already gives you enough of the experience to begin with. So what's the point of even spending even extra on it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a couple things, right? The negative is Windows, right? But the positive is also that it's Windows, and because of that, I can get native like Epic Games Store, right? If I want to play Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail, I can download it on there if I wanted to, right? And play it directly on there, because it's Windows. Game Pass, I can play Game Pass games. When Persona 3 Reload comes out, I can play that on the ROG Ally, where on the Steam Deck, unfortunately, you're kind of stuck there. But performance also, like I do use my Steam Deck quite a lot docked as well, because like when I'm downstairs in my living room, I don't have my PC, right? My PC's upstairs. So I would plug it into the dock, and then some games like Resident Evil 4, you do get like a little bit like of a how can I put it? There's like a limit to it. I'm like, man, like if I can push this a little bit harder to get better resolution and so forth, it would be a little bit better. And that's something that I know the ROG Ally can hit a little bit better as well. The only plus that for me that the OLED has outside of the OLED display is the better battery life. And battery life does mean a lot, especially for a handheld. because if it's gonna get me another like 2 extra hours, that's kind of like a game changer. The Switch OLED is a good example of that. When I got the Switch OLED, the OLED screen is amazing, but what I really love about the Switch OLED is the way better battery life I get from it compared to the OG Switch. Where my OG Switch, I forgot what game I was playing, but it would die a lot quicker. The minute I switched to the Switch OLED, I would get like 5 or 6 hours of battery life, and I don't have to charge it as often. So yeah, that's my feel on it. And if the MSI, if it's $1,000, it's probably gonna be a pass for me because I'd rather spend that money on something else where I can just get the ROG Ally and call it a day. Not only that, FSR also is been very good to all these PC handhelds. Steam Deck.
Oh yeah, 100%.
ROG Ally and stuff like that. It does help out a lot. I use FSR on Resident Evil 4 on the Steam Deck. Does help out there. And just other games that I might need it on. So,
I would say FSR is more of a game changer compared to the NVIDIA DLSS, because at least with AMD, they made this stuff open source. Literally any developer can just implement that into their games.
Yep.
And they don't have to sacrifice too much exclusivity to one company, which props to AMD for that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo uses it for crates.
Yep. They've used it for some games already, which is nice. Like Wii Sports, Switch Sports. They use FSR for that game.
Yeah.
Fan, any thoughts since you own 2 of the 3 big handhelds that are available?
I mean, I like my Ally. There are times when I wish it was just a little bit more powerful. So we'll see how this MSI Claw goes up against it. As I was telling you earlier during the day, I was looking at getting like a one of those XG mobiles, but price is just crazy right now. But I actually thought it like I was doing the math, because the XG mobile is also a dock because it's got HDMI and all that stuff. So I was doing the math, and like the cost of an XG mobile isn't too outrageous. It's not really that much more than what you would like invest in an actual dock plus a separate GPU plus the adapters to make it work on a computer. Like, it's, in terms of cost, it's pretty close, but in terms of dollar to performance, it's not as close.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, because they're up there in price.
Yeah, I mean, like $2,000 for 4090, mobile 4090, which is what, the equivalent of like a 4070, 4080, something like that.
It's a lot. Just for
but
that.
You got also, he also figures like it's got a power supply built into it, plus a dock that can do 4K 60 or 4K 120. I think it's got HDMI 2.1 on it. So
it does.
If you factor those costs into it, then it like almost ends up being about the same in the long run in terms of figures, dollar amount. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep an eye on it, because I would like to pick up an XG mobile just to have for when I want to like push it to the limits. Where, I mean, right now it runs everything perfectly fine. I mean, we were freaking playing Lethal Company on it, and I was getting, with all the dang mods we were running on, I was still getting like 30 frames a second.
Yeah, you missed that, Ash. He played Lethal Company on it, not one crash.
not one crash. But it was only running 1080p 30, but we had like almost 50 mods running on the game.
Did you force it at 30, or did the mods like slow it down to 30?
Oh, the mods slowed that game down. Like,
makes sense.
Because in the menu it would go past 30, like no issues. But during gameplay it would drop down like 20, 30, sometime past 30, sometime to 8, just depending on what was going on.
Yeah, we did a mod called Not Even Gojo Will Survive This. It's actually pretty good. It was nice. We gotta try it one of these days, all together, because it I don't know how you feel about it, fan, but for me, I thought it was more fun being able to like have all these enemies just coming at you at once.
Dude, it definitely made it more interesting.
It was fun because it was always, you weren't just walking around and like doing like nothing and then dying from like a same type of monster. No, you were getting like almost every monster, and it was just like random spawns and just like craziness. It was fun.
I still remember those times, especially on Titan. I think I had the best moments on Titan. I think because there was one time where like me and Shu went back into the area together, and then immediately we saw a coil right there, and and I got scared and left. So I left you behind with the coil because he was a bit further away from the freaking entrance, and when I went back to check on him on the ship and stuff, what I did realize is another coil appeared. I'm like, what? So two coils appeared, and then I didn't see this part, but apparently she was also saying that there was a ghost girl that also appeared. And I'm just like, bro, why did I do this? Like, what the heck, man? And then the other funny moment was when I think I was with you or I think I was with you, because when we went inside the entrance, right, that huge I think you saw the ghost girl first, and you told me to jump on the railing. But the thing is, I missed the landing. I wanted to killing myself. And I'm just like, God dang it.
Yeah, I
hate
remember
this.
that.
No, it was great. It was great stuff, man.
I don't remember what it was, but I told you to jump. Yeah.
Yeah, I jumped, but like I miscalculated the jump, and I fell to my doom anyway. So I'm like, great. At least I didn't die to the ghost girl, because bruh, I saw her. She was wearing red, right? I was like, oh hell no, I ain't doing that, man. I'm good.
So we did so in the mod, like multiple of like certain enemies are able to spawn, and one of them was the ghost girl had showed up, and there was like the dogs are in this mod, the dogs could spawn inside the actual buildings. So there was a dog in there, and the dog came out of nowhere, so we started running away, and I turned around to run away, and a ghost girl just comes right at me and kills me there. Another time they opened a door, and there was literally 4 ghost girls there appeared. I was like, what is going on here? And we had to run. There's another time where we used the teleporter, and I think Fan went to a place where it was like this gorilla, like weird gorilla thing. I think it was you, Fan, or was it somebody else? It was like a nutcracker. There was like a bunch of enemies, and he was just kind of like screwed because there's not much.
I got teleported into. It was. I can't remember what the place was called, but I got teleported to one of the house, and as soon as I got there, it was a nutcracker. It was the thing that looked like the teddy bear from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, the bracken. Yeah.
The bracken. Yeah, and then those things just showed up, and I just looked down at the ground, like I didn't move. And then if I look up, like 3 more things showed up, and I look back down, look back up, another 4 more things showed up. I'm like, crap, I'm dead.
Yeah.
So I ran book it, and I got shot in the back. So.
Yeah, the mod is pretty fun. It's some craziness there. But yeah, that is the MSI Claw. We'll be keeping our eyes on it, and definitely we'll probably be talking about it a lot more next week when it gets the official stuff gets announced, so we can get the official specs, see the pricing and all that other good stuff, and probably hopefully a release date, because I'll have my eye on it. My eye out on it for sure, because I'm an MSI fan. They haven't done me wrong, not yet at least. Our last bit of stuff we're gonna talk about is what we're most excited for in 2024 so far. 2024 is racking up. There's actually quite a bit of games coming out. I did do a video on what's coming out in the first quarter of 2024, which is all the way to March, in my top 10 games to look out for, and there's actually quite a lot of great games coming out already within the first 3 months of 2024, which is nice. One thing, I'll kick off the conversation real quick by mentioning some games that are past 2024 that I did not mention in that video, but one of them that I've been waiting for a lot, and I'm probably gonna mess up this the name of this. It's, I think, Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. It's basically from the creator of Suikoden, and I'm super excited to play this. I've been waiting for this game for a long time. It was supposed to come out last year, but it got delayed till this year, and it's coming out April 23rd. So
like a successor.
Yep, it's a successor, and I'm super excited for that game. It looks beautiful. It's using like their own version of HD 2D, which is nice, and yeah, I'm excited to play that. And of course, there's like Black Myth Wukong that's coming out August 20th. It's supposed to come out August 20th. But yeah, what are you guys excited for this year?
Who should we start with?
Whoever.
Well, okay. Black Myth Wukong for sure.
What'd you say?
Black Myth Wukong.
Oh,
I mean, that's in my top 5. It's probably in the bottom of the top 5 because I'm not very good at Souls-like games, but I still like to play them even if they're insanely difficult. I'm interested in that Princess Peach Showtime game because Peach with her own dedicated game is always fun. Always down for a Metroidvania, so the new Prince of Persia that's coming out. And then my top that I'm excited for is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and then Rise of Ronin will be right below that.
Nice.
Like those are my top 5 for 2024. I saw some other ones on that are like kind of piqued my interest, but like they weren't like must buys or anything like that at all.
Okay. What about you, Brian?
So my list is number 1. This game is the game that in my entire history of gaming, so I don't know, 31 years or 32 years, I've never looked forward to a game more than I do Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Just because 7 Remake was just such a astoundingly amazing game in every capacity. Everything that I've seen of Rebirth doesn't make me change my mind on that. If anything, it just reemphasizes what I think it's going to be like. I'm counting down the days for that to come out because it's going to be absolutely incredible. Number 2 I have is Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door on Switch. That's going to be fantastic. The only thing that really annoys me is that I bought like 10 of those Switch vouchers, like those digital game vouchers, and unfortunately my voucher expires like mid-February, and it's not going to be in time for Luigi's Mansion. It's not going to be in time for Paper Mario. It's not going to be in time for Princess Peach, even though I'm a little apprehensive about Princess Peach, the Princess Peach game. But like, I think I'm probably going to have to end up getting like that. What's that game called that's coming out that's like you go to an island, you play as like this girl, and you go like to an island and you solve mysteries.
I think I know what you're talking about. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, I'll probably end up having to get that because I have everything else already. Like,
that's the DS remake, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
is it like
another code?
Life is Color, another
code recollection. That's what it is.
Yeah, like it looks kind of interesting, but like the thing that bums me out about it is
it's one of those storage-driven games, right?
Yeah, it's just it's probably gonna be like $50, and it's like half of the incentive of getting those vouchers is you save $10 because you pay $100 for 2 $60 vouchers. So it's like whatever, but we'll see what happens. So I'll probably just pay for that. I'm not gonna be able to use the voucher on that, unfortunately, but it's considered one of the GameCube greats. I just got done with Super Mario RPG on Switch and I loved it, and this is just an evolution of that in every way. So looking forward to that. That's gonna be really cool. Next game is Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. We discussed that earlier. I loved Like a Dragon. Yuka's Like a Dragon. This just looks like that times 100 in every way, and it's cool. It's just really cool. Next is actually one that's really off my kind of usual in a weird way is Dawn Trail, the new Final Fantasy 14 expansion. Just because I've played a bit of 14, but I've always found MMOs kind of the same way that I found Baldur's Gate 3. I just kind of find them very overwhelming to get into with all their systems and stuff. But after playing Baldur's Gate 3 for a little bit, like for 2 or 3 hours, I kind of like have this new thing in my head where I'm like, you know what? Final Fantasy 14 isn't that complicated because Baldur's Gate 3 is way more complicated than 14 is. And they just had that big, I think they had like a big digital, or not, it wasn't digital event. It was like a big press conference yesterday for Dawn Trail. And a lot of the stuff they showed looked really cool, like this new city that's like all neon and stuff like that. It looks really interesting. So I'm gonna get on that. I'm probably gonna start playing 14 pretty soon. I mean, like going back to it. And then lastly, and this is definitely not in any particular order, but I would say this would be number 2, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth should be number 1. Persona 3 Reload. I've never played Persona 3. I'm a Persona fanatic between 5 and 4. 3 looks just so different, and so I just don't know much about it, so I'm going to go into it with pretty much fresh eyes and just getting to enjoy the music and the characters and the new story and how they've kind of just had everything with the quality of life and all the style and everything that goes into those games. So that's my list. And the cool thing is that Rebirth and Reload and Infinite Wealth are coming out like really soon, I think within the next month or two. So they're coming.
What about you, Ash?
So I haven't really gave that too much thought. I guess one of the few games I was looking forward to, which I hope this comes out this year, is the remaster for Paper Mario Thousand Year Door and stuff. I don't know if they confirmed it's going to be coming out 2024.
I think they did.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was or wasn't.
But yeah,
I'll look it up. I'm pretty sure.
I'm looking forward to that releasing because
I'm Peach out and putting that in
because I did play the game in the past before, but it was when the game was rented, and of course I didn't have enough time for me to actually beat the game and stuff, because one of the things with my parents is that I get to pick a game for the week and then bring it back, and then I have to tell them that I want the game now, which them actually getting the game will take eons, and eventually they never got the game for me, so I was sad about it. But at least with this, it will give me like a second shot for me to try it out again and stuff, because people always praise that game like it's Mother 3, bro. Like straight up, it's like when it comes to two Nintendo fans, mostly two JRPGs that they will like just praise up to the wazoo is freaking Mother 3 and Thousand Year Door. Those are the main two. And so far, one of those games are about to get re-released. It's definitely not Mother 3, but
no, it's not Mother 3.
Definitely not Mother 3. But like, and then along with that, I'm sort of looking forward to Persona 3 Reloaded and stuff. The thing is, I have a lot of experience playing Persona 3 in the past and stuff. The game is extremely fun. Definitely the most depressing Persona game compared to the other ones, to be perfectly honest with you. Not when it comes to quality wise, when it comes to like the whole mood and theme wise and stuff. That's what I mean. But it's just, the thing is, I'm like back and forth about like, okay, well, what direction are they trying to go with the remake and stuff? Because as a person that actually played the vanilla and FES, not really go 100% into the PSP version, which I think it's just called portable. They did take some stuff out. I just wish they would have kept all the stuff in. It still doesn't make any sense to me why they never include the female MC into that game. Like she's has existed for I don't know how long, ever since the PSP's inception. So I'm just like, you should have included her in there in the first place. And on top of that, if you want to argue, say, well, they're trying to go with like a different continuity, just like they did with Persona 5 or something like that, I'm like, fine, still include her. Yeah. because they did the same thing when they included her when it came to Persona Q2. So it always bothered me a bit, because I'm like, she's such a prominent figure in the community, because she's like the second female MC to become a main protag for the Persona franchise. The first female protag actually was Maya from Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. If you guys ever play that game, I don't know if you guys have, because that game's fairly old. But yeah, I'm kind of mixed. I might just stand from the fence and be like, okay, what's going on here? Already one of the things I'm kind of like turned off by is kind of like the remix of the music that they're trying to do and stuff. The remixes that they're trying to use, it's not hitting for me. It felt like they took the original music and took some of the seasoning out of it, and I'm just not feeling it. The new music that they're bringing into Persona 3 is better than the renditions that they're doing from the old music. I feel like they need to stick with that more rather than bringing up the old music, because okay, it's true that the OG singer no longer has her spark anymore when it comes to singing, which is fine. Bring in a new singer and have her do new music, not the old stuff, because even with the new one, I don't feel like she has the right tones and pitches whenever she's do some of the music and stuff, right? It's just like I just can't.
Isn't it a new girl in general doing the music?
Yeah. New girl for the music, and the new stuff I'm hearing from Persona 3, it sounds way better than like the stuff she's doing on the new renditions of the music. So I'm just like, they should have done all new music altogether. I'll be perfectly fine with that. If they have a feature to where it allows you to use OG music over a remake, I'm probably gonna be messing with that, to be really honest with you. But yeah, there's that. But graphically looks freaking amazing. Can't deny that. The thing is with me is that coming from a guy that has a extremely overpowered computer, like graphics don't really matter too much to me as long as the game is fun. So that's all that matters to me. Like if the gameplay slaps, the music slaps, I could really care less about the graphics at the end of the day, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, this is coming from the same guy that always praises Shin Megami Tensei 1, a Labyrinth JRPG, by the way. It's a Labyrinth style game. I don't know, man. I don't know. So yeah,
Persona 3 games on OLED though. That's where it's at.
I mean, true. You can definitely do that right now with Persona 3, Persona 4 on Nintendo Switch OLED. So, and the Steam OLED technically. I forgot about that. But yeah,
and 5
and the Vita.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a reason why they ported those games to the new platforms, bro. But anyway, but yeah, Persona 3 Reloaded. I'm just gonna be on the fence. I know my friend, my roommate is gonna get it because he's excited for it. For me, not too much because I already played it and loved it. It's just if they're gonna do a remake, I was expecting them to just literally. They already have the whole blueprint. They could have just took all the content and just put it into the new game, and I would have been 100% satisfied with that. But it seems like they're cutting some fat out, Now, the other game I'm looking forward to, which this is gonna be like a weird pick. It's actually Final Fantasy 16 on PC. And the main reason for that is one, I don't own 16. Even though you could see a PS5 in the background, that's not my PS5. That's my roommate's PS5. It's just throughout the time I'm playing this game on PS5, I feel like the game's being held back a lot by the power of the PS5 and stuff. Because like I 100% understand on what Yoshi P was trying to achieve with this game. I just feel the reason why it took so long for him to release this game is probably mainly because of the power of the PS5 and how much it was holding him back. You can definitely see that a lot when it comes to the big icon fights between each other. And me playing this on a fully capable PC that will definitely run this game through the roof with 4K above 60 FPS, that's going to be something that I'm definitely looking forward to once this comes out.
It's definitely an experience.
Yeah, definitely one hell of an experience. I already love the game itself, the story, its characters, and how they wanted to convey things, show things through the PS5. I just think that it could be twice as better if you play this on a PC and stuff, because I'm pretty sure Yoshi P definitely had the PC in mind. It's just the problem is Sony had to be like, hey, listen, exclusivity, maybe additional $3 million. I don't know how much they pay Square Enix to be.
Probably more than that.
But they definitely wanted the thing on their system first. But this looking forward to seeing that piece, because I'm pretty sure that's gonna be coming out this year. Knowing how Yoshi B was just talking about the progress on the PC port, all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, that's it.
Good picks. All my 5 picks, I made a video on it, so you can definitely watch that video on YouTube where I go over my top 10 games overall. But there are some other mentions that I do want to mention. As you guys were talking, I was looking because I was like, I know there's some other games I was excited for, so I'll go ahead and read down the list of some other ones that I'm pretty excited for as well. Visions of Mana, right? Looks amazing.
It's not coming out in 2024 yet, though, is it?
According to this Game Informer list, it is. So yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw
2024.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Didn't that game just got announced at the Game Awards?
It did, but doesn't. I mean, how many times does Nintendo announce a game and it comes out within a few months?
Yeah, but that's Nintendo.
Yeah, that's Nintendo.
That's true. That's true. But
yeah.
I want to say they did. Yeah.
Square's website says 2024.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Well, let's hope it doesn't get pushed back.
So yeah, Visions of Mana, and then what was the other one here? The Plucky Squire, which I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's a kind of cool indie game where you play as a squire and you kind of go through a book, and it looks like it's almost like Zelda-like kind of, but you also get party members, or you have to move around. It's pretty cool. I would definitely look at some gameplay for it because it looks really, really fun. Highly recommend it, or at least looking at it because it looks fun. What was the other one here? Star Wars Outlaws, which that looks pretty exciting. Looks pretty fun. I don't know how good it's gonna be, but it still looks fun nonetheless. It has my interest there. I know some people are excited for Stellar Blade. I feel like I need to see more gameplay of it because I don't know what to get from that.
Let me look up that one.
Silent Hill 2,
that's coming out this year. That's coming out this year.
So there was a promotional video that Sony released, and then they took down, and it showed Silent Hill 2 and Metal Gear Solid Delta or Metal Gear Solid 3
I
Delta.
saw that.
Yeah, it came out, and those were on the list of 2024 games, and then they took it down. So assuming it's coming out this year, according to PlayStation's own video, then yes, it is coming out this year, unless it gets of course delayed and stuff like that. Let's see. You guys already mentioned Paper Mario. There was like a couple other ones. I already mentioned Metal Gear Solid. Luigi's Mansion 2.
I wish so badly it was a 1 and 2 pack, so you could just have the whole trilogy on Switch.
That'd be so freaking confused, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, if I'm playing the original, I guess I'm gonna dig out my 3DS.
Yeah,
I mean, if they're already gonna do like an HD like upscale of Luigi's Mansion 2, they could have easily done that to the GameCube version.
Yeah,
yep.
Or even a 3DS version, because they ported Luigi's Mansion 1 to 3DS.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, like you said, like you can play Pikmin 1, 2, 3, and 4 all on the Switch. It wouldn't make sense to play Luigi's Mansion 1, 2, and 3 on the Switch. It would be nice to play every single Zelda game on the Switch. We're only missing Wind Waker
and Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess. I mean, Four Swords Adventure as well, but I doubt I'll ever get off of the GameCube. It'll live on in emulation territory forever.
How about Metroid Prime? Maybe 2 and 3 one day. That'd be great.
I believe that's been.
I don't know why they haven't done that yet. To be perfectly honest with you.
So according to
weird to me.
a rumor, we talked about this before on the podcast. According to a rumor, Metroid Prime 2 and 3 will be coming, but they're not going to be a full remake like Metroid Prime 1. So it's only going to be 2 and 3.
What?
Yeah, it's going to be one of those like HD upscaled.
Fine. Just give me them all. I don't care.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I'm not complaining too much. I guess I shouldn't complain too much on that and stuff. But like back then, I remember when they Nintendo literally shadow dropped the whole Metroid Prime trilogy onto the freaking Wii U, bro. So I'm just like, man, can we get something like that? Just drop a whole trilogy and like only charges like $20.
Yeah,
because that's how much it cost when it came out, $20. I'm just like, seriously.
And the biggest thorn in my side is the fact that in that Mario 3D All-Star collection, they didn't put Mario Galaxy Mario Galaxy 2 on it. Like, why?
Yeah,
like, why would you? Anyway.
Maybe they're saving it for another day.
Maybe.
Yeah, the Ultra HD release of Mario Galaxy 2.
Or the Switch Pro, Switch 2.
Oh yeah, that tipped me off too. Oh my god.
And then the last game, where is it at? I cannot find it. They announced it at the Game Awards, and I don't remember the name of it because I thought it's coming out in March, but it's not showing up here on the March list. It's the dude that he's an actor. Oh, Tales of Kenzera Zao.
Oh yeah. The one that was almost like a Metroidvania game.
Yep. Like you mentioned earlier, I love Metroidvania.
I was about to say, I got confused for a second.
That wasn't the Ori developer game, was it?
It's April on GameSpot.com. It says release April.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's the guy. He's an actor. He was in was it Raised by Wolves? He was father. He's been in other things. He was a voice actor to Bayek from Assassin's Creed. He did that. He came out. He was crying because he mentioned Golden Sun. Maybe you remember that because that was
Game Boy Advance for sure.
Yeah, like I mean, if it mentions Golden Sun, you got to remember him. Anybody who mentions Golden Sun is up there on the list. But yeah, those are all the games that I feel like you definitely got to keep an eye out for. There's a lot of great games coming out in 2024. I don't know if people will say it's better than 2023, but I'm still pretty excited. And there's still a lot of games that we don't have release dates for. There's still a lot to be announced.
Or know about.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure Nintendo has a bunch of stuff up their sleeve. Let's hope another Fire Emblem game. It'll be nice to have another Fire Emblem game. I know one just came out last year, but there's been rumors.
Oh, James.
There's been rumors that they have a remake already made. There's another Fire Emblem remake that they have completely done. They're just holding it. And if you remember, what was the other? There was another game they had it done for a while and they just held it and they haven't released it yet. And then
I hope it's Roy's game.
No. So the rumor is Genealogy of the Holy War, which is apparently the best Fire Emblem game ever made.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
But SNES, Super Nintendo.
SNES.
Was it released in America?
No, never released.
Here's the thing. So was Roy's game, the Blazing Sword. The problem is that everybody knows who Roy is, mainly because of Melee, and it's unfortunate that Nintendo or Intelligent Systems hasn't gone on the way to localize that game yet.
Yeah.
Like that's my issue. Like whether you release the game in the GBA fashion onto like the Nintendo expansion pack or whatever onto the Switch, or just straight up remaster or remake the game in some form, right? Like do what you did for Marth's game. I forgot the name of that one. I feel bad, but do like you did for Marth's game. Just release it to the eShop and have people just buy it for like $20 or $10 and call it a day. Like, come on, like, what's going on?
Well, one of the big reasons why the rumors there's and part of it is like semi-confirmed because Nintendo has stated themselves. I can't remember exactly what game it is, but they actually had a game fully completed and they didn't release it. And then there was an interview and they said that sometimes they complete games, but they don't release it and they wait for the right time to release it.
That was Star Fox 2. That wasn't that fully developed and.
No, not that one. It was a recent Switch game.
I was just speaking in general. I know you're referring to something specifically.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it was like specific to the Switch. It was a recent Switch game. Recent meaning last year, and I can't remember exactly which one it was, but they said that they do complete games, but then they'll hold it and wait till the right moment to release certain games.
That's smart.
And
in my opinion,
a while back, like a couple years ago, when Fire Emblem Engage got leaked, because there were screenshots that showed up, and that got leaked. The person who was familiar with the source says that there was 2 Fire Emblem games. Originally, the remake game was going to come first, and then Engage was going to come after. But because of like COVID, everything got pushed back. 1, B, because the Engage game was supposed to be an anniversary game. Since that kind of missed the date, they pushed Engage first, and now they're just sitting on the remake game and waiting for it to be released there. So yeah, I mean, I believe it. The source, I want to say it's probably either Nate the Hate or it's Jeff Grubb, and I usually follow them a lot, and they seem to be pretty on the money when it comes to like.
I agree with you. Irregardless if it's Nate the Great or Jeff Grubb, but yeah, they're pretty on the money on that. And what's more interesting too is that if that source is true, that means they could have had some voice acting in it, which means certain voice actors probably already know about this game already.
Yeah, so another thing about it is because of Sigurd. Sigurd is the kind of main one that talks a lot in Fire Emblem Engage, and the whole reason was because while they were doing Fire Emblem this Fire Emblem remake, they also wanted to use the voice lines for Engage at the same time, which is why Sigurd has so many voice lines as well, because they had the same voice actor for both games. So that's another thing. I was like, that kind of makes sense, why Sigurd has a lot more talk than Marth does, who's Yuri Lothal in Fire Emblem Engage. So, and I think Sigurd is, what's his name? He's Ike's voice actor. I can't remember his name.
Oh shoot! Damn.
Shoot.
I unfortunately have not played Engage yet.
Yeah. Gotta play it. It's good.
If I gotta hear him. I gotta hear him because when it comes to voice actors, they have that certain accent, or I don't know what it is, a certain accent and tone that they use.
Yeah.
And you can from Atkins or Greg Chun.
Greg Chun.
I do not remember him. Holy
Greg Chun. Yeah, he does a lot. He does like Ike's voice, which I miss old Ike's voice. The I fight for my friends. Like, even though he wasn't the best voice actor for sure, I do kind of miss that because Greg Chun, a lot of his voices sound exactly the same. Like every character he voices, they sound alike. If you played Fire Emblem, the mobile game, I forgot what it's called.
Heroes.
You would understand. Yeah, Heroes. Every time Greg Chun is voicing a character, it's him because it sounds exactly like the last character that he did.
Pretty much, yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much everything we have for today's podcast. Appreciate everybody for showing up. As always, don't forget, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us over at Twitch. We do a lot of live streams. We'll be back next Sunday, probably with more details on the MSI Claw because that should be fully announced this week. And yeah, who knows what other craziness might get announced this week. Fan, where can it catch you at?
You guys can catch me here on Twitch at the Random Encounter on Sundays, or on my channel at Phaneckswhy.
Yep. And on Thursdays with the group
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah.
What about you, Ash?
You can definitely catch me again sometime this week because a certain video is going to come out. So you'll definitely see me there. So
yes, we will have that video out. Should be out either Wednesday or Thursday. Probably gonna be Wednesday. 99.9999991% sure it's gonna be Wednesday. What about you, Brian? Where can I catch you at?
Find me on the artist formerly known as Twitter, red_so_deep. You can also find me on the video that's going to be coming up on Wednesday.
Yes, indeed. And you won't find me on that video that will be coming up on Wednesday, but you can always find me here.
Don't you have a fancy intro?
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
No, I'm not on. Oh, that's true. That's true.
Remember, I reused it again.
Yeah. I lied. Yeah. You will see me there. Yes. I am in the intro, so you will see me there in there, but that just for that part. And after that, you won't see me ever again. No, I'm just kidding. But you can always catch me here. I will also have another video coming out on Thursday. Not exactly sure on what, but definitely keep an eye out for that. And of course, we have our group stream also happening Thursday, and then my solo stream on Friday. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Definitely join us for that as well while we have a lot of fun. I believe we're going to do Stranger of Paradise this Thursday because Shu's not going to be with us, so we can't do Crystal Chronicles. And unless you guys want to do Lethal Company again, I say we just start doing something else. But we'll figure that out later on. Thanks for watching. My name is James from The Random Encounter. Thank you, Fan. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Bryant. We'll catch you guys next time.